When it comes to breast play, most men aren't as good as they think they are. I'm sorry guys, but I have heard about this time and time again, and I have felt it myself. And we have to address the fact that the vast majority of you don't know how to play with the boobies. Whether it be a double A or a double G or anything in between, chances are you most likely don't actually know what you're doing. And that's totally fine because chances are you haven't been taught how to play with the breast effectively. And by effectively, I mean how to turn her on with just breast play, because there is such thing as a nipple gasm. And if you're out here just sticking to the classic honk honk or fondling like they're sandbags, sucking on the nipple, pinching the nipple, nibbling on it, all of that stuff, you are really closing off the door to your woman's pleasure as well as your pleasure, because when our partner receives pleasure, we receive pleasure as the giver. So I'm going to teach you how to unlock that nipple orgasm through breast play and breast massage. So today we are going to be covering some techniques on how to amplify how you are playing with the boobies. So let's kick it off with our first technique. Now in this stage, our clothes are still on because we do not want to rush the foreplay. Foreplay is all about the tease, all about building that anticipation and building that arousal. So the same thing goes for breast stimulation as well as clit stimulation, except for breast stimulation, we are going to view the nipple as the clitoris. So we wouldn't go for the clit right out of the gates, and we're not going to go for the nipple either. So I want you guys to take your time with it and tease them. So we are going to start off with going above the shirt. Now honestly, I did not plan my outfit for this video well at all. So envision my shirt being a lower cut than it is, because chances are you're gonna be, most shirts are about this height. Oh wait, maybe I can kind of do that. For this technique, we are gonna start off with going above the shirt. So I like to start with a little bit of light, gentle touch over and across the collarbones, coming down onto the top of the breast, dipping into the shirt, into the bra, and avoiding the nipple. Almost tease her as if you're going to go for the nipple, but don't actually. So we're gonna be coming across the collarbones, down into the shirt, into the bra, and then coming back up, avoiding the nipple. Nice and simple and nice and slow. We are teasing that neckline. The second tip that I have for you is what's gonna set you apart from all the other guys. Your woman will have never had her breast touched like this ever before, and that is gonna give you a very special place in her heart. So we are gonna lube up those boobies, and we're gonna do so with a nice organic coconut oil. Why coconut oil? Because it doesn't easily get absorbed into the skin, and it allows a nice glide. And when we think of glide, we think of smooth. And when we think of oil and lubrication, I want you to think of an increase on an arousal. So we're gonna start off with taking some of that coconut oil and warming it in the palm of our hands, getting our hands nice and oily, but not too much, just enough to give us a nice glide over the breast. From there, we are going to take our finger pads, and we are gently going to start applying that coconut oil from the bottom half of the breast all the way up to the outside of it. So from the bottom all the way to the armpit. The stroke is going to look a little bit something like this. So we're coming down, and then we're coming up, and then we're coming back down. So you're going to follow the natural curvature of their breasts. For this technique, you want to make sure you are solely still sticking to just the outside. This is specifically because if we touch the nipple too soon and our partner is not aroused, it can actually hurt or become really uncomfortable or even painful. Honestly, it can also be a really big turnoff. So obviously, we want to try not turning off our partner, and definitely we don't want to hurt them. The third tip that I have for you guys has everything to do with your partner's confidence and the ability to feel safe in their body. When it comes to women and their breasts, to be honest, a lot of us are very self-conscious of them, whether it be the size, the shape of their nipple, the size of their nipple. So we want to boost her confidence, and we want to let her know that we love the way her breasts look. We love the way that they feel. We love their nipple. I love how soft your skin is. Let her know how much you love and appreciate her breasts. The one thing that a lot of women struggle with when it comes to intimacy and pleasure is getting caught in their head and being self-conscious. By showing your partner the appreciation you have for their body is allowing them to gently drop into themselves, and it is creating a space that they feel safe enough to pay attention to their own pleasure and the pleasure that you're providing them. The fourth technique that I want to give to you is one of my favorites to do in my somatic intimacy coaching, and it's actually to open up your heart chakra. So we are going to be doing a heart opening massage. And that is gonna allow the flow of love between the both of you, which is extremely important to women, and they might not even know it. So this also gives you an upper hand on their pleasure. This time we are gonna be stimulating the whole breast. It's gonna look a little something like this. We're always gonna be starting at the bottom, coming up through the side with that light pressure, and then coming down through the center, creating almost that teardrop shape. So we're gonna come up and then down and then back around. Here you want to keep your pressure nice and light and gentle on the outside, and then slowly start to increase your pressure coming along the center or the breastbone. Still, there is no nipple. Now the fifth step is one of my favorites, and it's finally where the nipple gets teased. And this is called the infinity sign or the figure eight. In this technique, we are gonna be using our whole hand. So we're gonna be scooping along the bottom, coming up this side. Here we can gently graze our palm right across that nipple, just letting them know that you haven't forgot about it and giving her that tease. Coming down the center, and then along the bottom, up the side, and then back around. So you're creating that nice figure eight around both breasts while gently teasing the nipple. Now you don't want to tease the nipple every single time you go past it, but every other time. This allows her to focus on that awakening sensation of the nipple, and it doesn't shock her nervous system. Now the sixth tip, we want to hear from you. Tell me the pleasure you are experiencing from touching my breasts. Show her, moan, groan, deepen your breathing. By you expressing your pleasure allows us to feel comfortable and safe enough to express ours. Like I said, when it comes to sex and sexuality, women have been absolutely suppressed by society. So help her know that it's safe to be vulnerable and express herself. Her pleasure can literally unlock her most orgasmic self. Help your woman out by creating that container and allowing her to feel safe and seen. This next technique that I have for you is called the nipple hover, and it is a tease. Now, honestly, you are gonna think this is absolutely crazy, but I want you to rub your hands together and pull them apart and feel that heat that's happening in between your hands. Feel the electricity that's going on in between your hands. You can feel that space. So I want you to do the exact same thing for your partner's nipples. I don't care if you're rubbing your hands together or you're rubbing them on yourself and creating that energy. I want you to take that hand and I want you to hover it over top of your partner's nipple. Then you can gently start doing circles on the nipple. And the eighth step is what you guys have all been waiting for, and it's time to kiss, lick, and suck. The one thing that I do want to say here is make sure you check in with your pressure, because our nipple sensation literally changes day to day depending on where we are at in our cycle. Some days we could want that really like aggressive suck and pinch and pull, and other days that could literally feel like hell to us. So don't just assume that you know what she likes, because you don't. And my little bonus tip for you guys is a blended orgasm. So as you are stimulating the breast, you can be using your other hand to stimulate the clitoris. After all, 80% of women actually orgasm this way. Imagine witnessing your partner have a breast orgasm as well as a clitoral orgasm at the exact same time. Like, oh my God, it is absolutely fire, and I wish that for every lady to experience and every man out there to witness, because this shit is wild. Follow all these steps and you can unlock that for your partner. And remember, babies, after all, communication is key. So communicate effectively to your partner and make sure you're listening to their wants, their needs, and their desire. And do not let them rush this process. All right, babies, I will see you next week for another episode. Cheers.